of the Midweek Motivation. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Brina, and if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I come to you live every Wednesday, right in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day, to give you a word that will inspire you, give you a little something to keep going through the rest of your week. So thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget, please like and share this video. In fact, I'll give you a quick second to do that now. Go ahead and like and share. Thank you. And then we'll get started with today's word. So today's passage is coming from one of my favorite books in the Bible, and that is Nehemiah. And so we're reading from Nehemiah chapter 6, and I'm going to share verses 1 through 9, and I'm reading from the New International Version. And it says, when word came to Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem, the Arab, and the rest of our enemies, that I had rebuilt the wall, and not a gap was left in it, though up to that time I had not set the doors in the gates, Sanballat and Geshem sent me this message. Come, let us meet together in one of the villages on the plain of Ono. But they were scheming to harm me. So I sent messengers to them with this reply. I am carrying on a great project and cannot go down. Why should the work stop while I leave it and go down to you? 4 times they sent me the same message, and each time I gave them the same answer. Verse 5. Then the 5th time, Sanballat sent his aide to me with the same message, and in his hand was an unsealed letter in which was written, it is reported among the nations, and Geshem says it's true, that you and the Jews are plotting to revolt, and therefore you are building the wall. Moreover, according to these reports, you are about to become their king, and have even appointed prophets to make this proclamation about you in Jerusalem. There is a king in Judah. Now this report will get back to the king, so come, let us confer together. I sent him this reply. Nothing like what you are saying is happening. You are just making it up out of your head. In verse 9, we'll stop here. They were all trying to frighten us, thinking their hands will get too weak for the work and it will not be completed. I just love this story. And so the word for today is distractions. So this is the book of Nehemiah, obviously. Nehemiah is writing. He's writing in the first person, and he's telling the story of him and his team rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. So Jerusalem had been destroyed by the Babylonians, and the Jews were taken captive. And so Nehemiah is actually still in captivity. And at this time, he's working for King Artaxerxes as his cupbearer, which is a very prominent position. So Nehemiah is a leader. He has stood out, even in his captivity, he has stood out as a leader. So he's in a prominent position in this kingdom. And I won't tell the whole story. I encourage you to read the whole book of Nehemiah. It's not that long. But Nehemiah hears about the walls of his homeland being destroyed. He's distraught about that. He fasts and prays, and God leads him to ask the king to go to Jerusalem to rebuild. So the king tells him yes, and so he goes. Now, fast forward to where we are today in chapter 6. Nehemiah has a team. He's gathered them, and they are working very diligently to build the wall. And they've made some really good progress. In fact, in verse 1, it says, they've rebuilt the wall, but they have not set the doors of the gate. So they have made really good progress in this project. But while they are working, here come the distractions. And if I didn't say what today's word is, it's distractions. So here come the distractions. You got Tobiah, you got Sanballat, you got Geshem. They come to Nehemiah a total of 5 times, and they want to distract him. Now, don't miss this. They approach the leader, not the workers, the team members, but they approach the leader to try to distract him from the work that God has called him to do. So again, don't miss that. And every time they try to distract Nehemiah, he responds with the same answer. I am too busy doing this important work. I don't have time to come and meet with you. He recognized what was happening. He did not fall for the distractions, and he kept working. And eventually, as you continue to read Nehemiah, you'll see that they would threaten violence against Nehemiah and the workers, to the point where the workers had to have a sword in one hand and work with the other hand. But at the end of it all, we see that the project was completed, the walls were rebuilt, and they were completed in record time, in 52 days. So by God's grace, Nehemiah was able to accomplish the task. So what is the lesson for us in this story? So Nehemiah got a vision from God. God called him to a particular thing, and he did it. And he stayed focused on it. And he did not allow the distractions that were thrown his way to stop him from completing the work. So Nehemiah was very clear on what God called him to do. Now, this word is especially for leaders. When God calls you to do something, Satan will throw distractions your way. Amen, somebody. So we need to have an awareness that that is going to happen. And when it does, don't get off track. Don't fall for what Satan is throwing at you. Recognize it for what it is. And just like Nehemiah did, say, I don't have time for this. I am focused on this great work that God has called me to do. So when those distractions do come, remind yourself of what God told you to do, the instruction that he gave you, and just stay focused and keep going. Don't get distracted. Now, God will provide everything that you need to fulfill what he's told you to do, the time, the treasure, the people, all the things that you will need. He will provide all of those things to you. But your job, our job, is to stay focused and not fall for any distractions that might come your way. And let me say something about distractions. In this case, Nehemiah knew that they were trying to distract him, pull him away with lies. We even see that someone had a letter that said, we heard that you were trying to take over this land. We already have a king. Sometimes distractions are good things, but they're not what God has called us to do right now. So be mindful of that also. And no matter what that distraction might look like, don't fall for it. Stay focused on what God has called you to do, and God will grace you to complete it. Just like God graced Nehemiah and his team to complete the wall in record time, in 52 days. Remember, as we close, distractions are from the enemy. The enemy wants to get you away from the purpose that God has put inside of you. Don't fall for it. Be aware that that is how the enemy operates. Stay focused and ignore and move away from the distractions. All right. I hope that word helps you today. Thank you for